Well, welcome everyone to Anxiety Simplified. I am Joanne Williams, and nice to see you again. I've been doing this for several months, so I hope you do look back at the other videos I have done as well that are all focused around, well, like today's title, overcoming blockages in your life that prevent you from going forward with true meaning and purpose in your life. So that's again what this one is about, overcoming your blockages and why emotions are your friends. And there is a free download of a worksheet at anxietysimplified.net. I always like to have kind of an experiential journey of whatever we're doing. So you can read along, you can see what I'm talking about, you can get involved because that's how things work much better, deeper to bring more awareness into your life. So there's a free worksheet at anxietysimplified.net and also a course, a 3 video paid course on conquering your fears as one of the biggest blockages of self-doubt that creep in and just siphon off your confidence. So in this show, I'm going to walk you through the 3 steps in the course to conquer these fears, really to help you understand there is a way out of your self-doubt. As a professional of 30 years explains this to you and to encourage you that you can learn to do this on your own even, or ask me for help. You know, you can reach me at anxietysimplified.net. But once you understand these steps, you really can do this yourself. And that's really the way the course is designed. And there is, and there, the free worksheet just isn't quite as in depth, and there's also an attached workbook that you literally write in. Oh, what am I thinking? What do I see in my life that is the blockage? So it's much more in depth if you do the either by the actual workbook, you can get separately, or in the course. So, but I'm going to start with an easy metaphor for why you haven't been able to stop this progression of anxiety that goes into the largest block I see of fear, or even into panic attacks, which to me is just watching, a fear that starts, and then you get the what ifs if that happens, and you just start the snowball of anxiety into a full-blown panic attack that you can see in other videos. But those are simulate your heart racing, you get hot, sweaty, short of breath, or even believe you're going to die and go to the ER. So that's kind of a progression that I see, that these blockages, they start little, and they could have started way back when you were a child with a boogeyman in the closet and didn't know what to do. And you just got fearful and it looked so big. Well, now we're going to be looking down from an adult's point of view. It looks so much different when you're looking down than, looking up and overwhelmed. That's really what we're talking about with these blockages. It's really your point of view, the way you're looking at something. You're going to feel different about it, the perspective that you're looking at. But I'm going to start in this metaphor of really, the metaphor, I want you to get that concept. And then I'm going to walk you through these 3 steps, which is really, I call it conscious action plan, or CAP system, because you consciously need to know some things, which is your feelings, your emotions, as well as the thoughts you're having, to create an action plan, or really is a system you can use over and over again, that it really includes that guide that you can watch, you can see this black and white where your blockages are, and then understand how to intervene to maneuver around the blockages or through forever. Okay. I'm a 30-year mental health professional, so I have seen that avoidance of emotions as the reason why you never intervene or go directly at the blockage, to release them, to stop this progression into a fear attack or depression or PTSD. It's the same thing. So I want you to understand that there is a natural ebb and flow to emotions. They flow in to offer you information for what you can and you can use to make a more informed decision. And then they flow out once you understand that, okay, I get the information, I get it, I hear what you're trying to share, and then you use that information. And this blockage that I am really seeing, and I've developed a technique I call emotional tension release technique, ETR, to help with this flow of emotions and get through these blockages. And this can explain and allow the natural release of tension that emotions build up, or that fear, that blockage that happens that you can't move through or forward because of this tension. I want you to imagine like a TV show or a drama or horror shows. They really do it well. Imagine the tension that builds up. You hear the music, dun, 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 dun. You can feel the emotional tension of that scene as it builds up. You know the murder is coming, it happens. And then once it is, the tension falls, right? You can feel it build. And that's what makes a good movie or a show. Okay. But this is exactly what happens with anxiety or emotions or in a PTSD episode of and fear attacks. Some call them anxiety or panic attacks, but it could even be in depression with sadness. You cannot tolerate the build up of the tension. So you bail out, you avoid. And because you bail out before you get over the peak to the release, the feeling good that it's over kind of tension, you never get the benefits of that release of tension. If you could just tolerate the emotion, the fear, the anxiety, the sadness just a little longer, you would feel that release and go over the peak and see and feel the benefits moving through this blockage or this experience instead of just avoiding it. If you bail out before the release, you just don't get those benefits or the release. Like, oh gosh, it all worked out just the way I hoped it would, or for the best. Oh, that wasn't so bad. I really avoided that. And that even wasn't even that bad. Again, perspective. When you start looking down, it's not so bad. But when you're looking up, I can't do it. You imagine this tension worse than it is. So you bail out. But when you bail out, you stay in I call it a fear loop, or it even can be a failure syndrome. And then you start to blame yourself because you don't have the confidence. You never did it. I can't do anything right. And that is a huge blockage. Okay. But you stay in that because you've created a pattern of this fear loop or this failure syndrome that just keeps you doing that over and over again without realizing it. But it basically is without getting to the top and without the release on the other side, without you understanding that's even a pattern. You're not aware of it. There is the conscious awareness piece. You've got to start being aware. And that's what the workbook or the worksheeting will take you through. Oh, where am I doing this? And it's because you're avoiding the emotion in the situation and you're bailing out. There really is no need to avoid the information of an emotion of getting ready. That's what anxiety is trying to teach you. Oh, I worry about my family if I die. Oh, that's why we do a medical power of attorney. That's why we do wills. So that's what your fear, your anxiety is trying to tell you. It's giving you information. Listen, get prepared. Or maybe it's just something, a worry or something from your past or something that happened that is emotionally laden situation. Use the ETR technique. Allow the emotion to come, tolerate it for a few minutes and sit with it in the situation until you feel the release or the relief. Then you can use this information that's on the other side. There's always something on the other side of it, and you're missing out on a huge piece of information. Something like, oh, I never thought of that before. Oh, I never realized that. But you don't get a chance to. You're missing out because you're blocking it. Okay. Allow yourself to feel the tension of the anxiety, the fear, the sadness, or whatever as it increases. Sit with it. Be present with it. Tolerate it for just a few minutes and allow it to release instead of avoiding it, which makes it stay with you. That's why it's a blockage, only because you're avoiding, you're bailing out. Feel it, allow it, be brave, sit with it, just a little emotion. Again, which way are you looking at this emotion? Oh, they told me if I do that, da, da, da. Or looking down. Oh, it's just a little blip of anxiety about being in a social situation once I was embarrassed, or I was on a flight once that had a turbulence. So every flight is bad. All right, got to be aware. But as you practice this, and being presented with this emotional situation, feel it, the peak, the tension, they'll get smaller. They'll just be more bleeps or even just more, oh, okay. But I'm going to add in step 2 of the Capit 3-step system to conquer your fears. That again, you can see at anxietysimplified.net. I add this breathing technique, and it is based on science, medical research science on the vagus nerve. And there's a whole show here on the vagus nerve and this breathing, because it has been so magical as I've used it again with clients every day in my therapy sessions. And there's an immediate release of calm, because what this 4 and 8 breathing technique does is you can use it as you feel that tension increasing, right? I don't know what to do. Before I'm going to bail out, breathe. This 4 and 8 breathing will help you get into calm, because the vagus nerve is actually created, they found out from a Nobel Prize winning scientist, that vagus nerve runs all the way from your gut to your brain. And it has these tentacles that wrap around every major organ. And as the science research found, is that when you do this 4 and 8 breathing, you're sending a calming chemical into your system, and you immediately feel calmed. It's going to bring that tension down. You can get over the top a little easier and get the piece of information to feel the relief. So you've got a tool now, and I'm going to take you through this kind of briefly. We just even 1 minute. We're going to do it when you practice this, or when you go back to the other show on Roku and see it. I do 5 rounds of this, but as you breathe in through your nose, count of 4, and you can count it in your mind or out, and then you breathe out through your mouth to the count of 8. You do that about 5 rounds, okay? Breathing in and then breathing out again to the count of 8 out, 4 in. As you do this, and they recommend doing it for 2 minutes, even 1 minute, I do it with clients. They immediately, what I hear from clients is that, oh, I have more clarity. Oh, my chest relaxes, or my shoulders go down, or oh, I just feel so much calmer in 1 minute. So you've got 1 minute if you want to deal with your blockages and get over that tension wall and clear out these blockages easier. So you add step 2, breathe as you feel the tension rising. Okay, you're going to get over there. It's going to give you that moment of calm to regroup and get out of your emotional fear state into that blockage, basically into your logic, to get in present mindset. It takes you over out of the fear, the emotion, into your logic to have a more present mindset and then you can go to step 3. Actually consciously practice the plan, the P of CAP, reassurance, to feel you can handle the situation once and for all. Then the fear falls away. It's released. You're releasing the blockage. You can do this. Understanding there's a natural emotional tension and release of emotions. that as you do this, what I call my ETR, the emotional tension release, you'll feel that reassurance from the emotion when it passes. And the sooner you can sit with this and just feel and breathe 1 minute, 5 rounds, 4 in, 8 out. You can do this yourself and feel that calm. Feel you get over that peak or that over that blockage. And you can release these pesky blockages in yourself forever. It doesn't matter whether it's sadness and depression and anxiety attacks, panic attacks, PTSD responses. You know, in PTSD, you don't want to face that emotion. Avoidance is the number one symptom in PTSD. So these are ways you can learn to deal with it. Like I said, I've got that whole course there for you. You can look at the free download worksheet at anxietysimplified.net and or the whole course. And it is fashioned more on panic attacks, but that's a fear pattern, right? That's a fear pattern. How many fear patterns are in lots of different things? So you, even if you don't think you have a panic attack or anxiety only, you know, look at it as the patterning. That's what you're doing here to get any kind of the sadness. Oh, I can't do it. I don't know how. I'll never. Da, 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 da. And then you bail out till you get on the other side of I can do it. I know I can, but you don't get there. So I hope this helps. And you can believe that you really can conquer your blockages yourself with this course and this workbook. Or you can contact me at anxietysimplified.net as well if you need some help. I do counseling as well in states of California, Texas, Oregon, and Florida. So if you're in one of those states, I absolutely could even do some ongoing sessions with you. I also do certification for emotional support animals as well as psychiatric service dogs so you can fly with your dogs. So there's lots of ways I can help, or just ask me a question. I'm happy to email you back and forth any answers, or if you need more, maybe I can give you some recommendations. So put your email in the little box and your first name and receiving the worksheet. And I'm happy to have correspondence with you. Okay, we'll get the course. We'd love to have you part of our little team. All for now.